Hello. Welcome to Promise Resource Network. This is Love Talks with me. I'm the Jane.
And me, I'm the Michael.
Yes. I feel like I just realized that I said Jane and my hair looks all types of this, and I'm wearing this like cheetah print shirt. I feel like I'm like Tarzan Jane.
Yeah, wow. Look at when you turn your head. Can you side eye it? Look at that.
Oh gosh.
You're looking pretty wild.
Wow. Didn't know that was
I wish I knew that was the theme. I would have came dressed appropriately.
really. What on earth would you have worn?
I don't know. I would have figured something out.
I think your pants work. They look a lot like Tarzan-y pants.
Nobody can see my pants though.
Well, yeah, so you would just have to wear your pants up really high.
No,
They don't.
they don't work like that.
That's why you need to get those harem pants like I wear.
True.
No, really.
I believe you.
Um. So we'll give everyone a moment to tune in. Random. So, well, not random, but I want to get to the random part to tell you because I don't know if you know. So we are in a new location, and I'm really grooving this piece of art that's behind us, and I just realized that it's on a piece of wood, and I think I could create something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Yeah, I could create something like that. It's like with stencils and stuff. I could do that. Yeah. So anyway, so we're in a new location today, and we will be next week as well, and I'm super excited about it because we are in Florida. And check this out. So we're south of Orlando and we're at the beach. And I just learned today that while it's like 80 degrees, super sunny, the humidity is only like 39%, it's like in the 90s in Charlotte. Yeah. Right?
How many hundreds of miles do we drive south?
Like,
and it's warmer
lot.
where we came from?
Yeah.
What?
Isn't that nice? I mean, it really stinks if you're in Charlotte and you're not enjoying that hot weather, and it's really great for us because it feels. I was talking to someone earlier, and it feels to me like I'm almost like I'm out west because the sun is super blazing saddles hot because of where we are, and the sun is just the heating device, and it's not all this humid air. So I feel like I'm actually a little bit out west. So if you ever want to go out west, and if anyone watches this and you're like, hey, I know someone who has a place out west that would be willing to let me borrow it, let me know. Please. Right? Anyway. So the reason we're here, do you want to tell the reason we're here?
No, I like when you tell it.
Because you don't know why we're here. You're like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm just kidding, you do. So Michael's birthday is coming up. His birthday's on tax day. And so I wanted to celebrate it in a way that was pleasant and special. And so I was able to finagle all things around, and his birthday gift for me is a vacation of sorts. Pretty much. Like, and you get a vacation for your birthday. Wow. Right? So that's why we're here, to celebrate the birth of the Michael Prokurper, which is, I think, a pretty good reason to celebrate anything, the fact you were born. I want to say, hey to Charles, who's joining us. He's like, it's sunny in Florida, who'd have thunk it? Yeah, but it's only like 70, it's only like maybe 80 degrees here. Yeah. Pleasant. So while we're here, I'm excited because I don't have anything planned other than rest and relaxation, and maybe on your birthday we'll do like a cacao ceremony and instead of cake, unless I just had an idea. If you want, we're going to go to the grocery store later today. That's part of our date night. If you want, I will buy a gluten-free chocolate cake mix, and if you want, you can make it for your birthday.
We'll see, maybe.
I think it's a pretty good idea. No? Maybe. I thought it was a brilliant idea. If anyone else has a better idea of how Michael's going to get a gluten-free chocolate birthday cake, let me know. I already look like I'm getting way dark compared to you. You see that?
Yeah, you've been outside all day. I've been inside working.
I've been in the shade. I have been. You and I were in the sunshine the same amount of time.
I think it's the white walls and the white t-shirt. I'm looking very white in this lighting.
You really are.
Yeah.
I look darker when I wear white.
You got this dark curly hair and this Amazon looking outfit on. Like, I think you're gonna look darker no matter what.
So, Michael and I were chatting about like, what do we want to talk about, right? Love talks, like building healthy relationships, right? Through conversation. And
So-
he,
What is the topic for today?
appreciation.
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Yes, that's what we talked
Just
about.
confirming.
Yes. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. And we wanted to talk about appreciation. Yeah, Charles. Charles is like, wait, what? Michael's working on his birthday vacation? Yeah, right?
Because as Americans, we only get so many days a year off from work.
When you're in the program.
Yeah.
Grateful.
Yeah, I think America, like if you look at the average vacation days people get,
Mhm.
I think America has the least vacation days.
Yeah, and they have the lease for maternity leave and well, any kind of paternity leave. For anything, grievance, anything like that.
And I went to Peru for a week. I thought, I was like, wow, we're going away for a whole week to a foreign country. Like, holy cow, this is awesome. And when we get there, almost every person we talked to had some type of itinerary and they pull it out and they'd have like 3, 4, 5 weeks where they were just traveling around South America or jumping to different continents and like just traveling, checking out the world. And whenever we told these people, oh, we're in Peru for a week, they'll be like,
Why?
that's it? We're like, yeah, we live in America. We don't get that many days off.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Like for real. Like in the America, the North America, like we don't get time off. Like if you work for any like corporation, like, you don't get time off. You don't get appreciated. You don't get appreciated for time that you do spend. You know, it's like they tell you to work, say, 40 hours a week, whether you could get the job done in 25 hours or 60 hours. You know, they want you to only work so many unless you're salaried, and then they want you to work 800,000 hours, right?
Pretty much.
And then the way they thank you is they'll give you a random, you know, like a bonus check but then like, what do you spend the bonus on? You know, you don't spend the bonus on travel. You don't spend the bonus on anything other than investing it back in like, well, I guess I'll put an addition on the house or I'll buy a new car. I'll buy a thing.
I feel like we have enough things. I feel like I have enough things.
You mean like
I don't
we
know,
as people or personally?
I'll keep it on the eye. And I think we as people, like in America, but anyway,
Yeah.
on the eye, I feel like I have enough stuff.
Mhm.
Why do I need an addition on the house? Or why do I need, you know, like, why do I just need more stuff?
Yeah.
It's more stuff to take care of when I don't really care about the stuff I want to travel.
Yeah, it's the experience. To me, if I do a job well done, right? And then someone shows me appreciation through an experience, right? Because if my job well done to me is like making someone's experience in life better, right? Like whether it's I did well with customer service or I did well in the relationship. So it's like having an experience of some sort or space for me to have my own experience to like be in the appreciation. That's not the way our system works, like at all. You know what? Oh, you giggled. I didn't know what you were laughing at. What? I didn't. Yeah. I want to say hey to Roberta. I want to say hey to Ariel. She says, I've been to 40-ish countries, and yeah, we're pretty much the worst at the work-life balance by a long shot. Yes, hence why I left corporate medicine. It's soul-crushing. Yeah, like we like wherever. Okay, so if you're tuning in right now, and if you're checking this on the replay, like I would love to know. So how does your work show you appreciation? So if you're in the corporate realm, that should be pretty easy for you to like be like, well, I get 2 weeks paid vacation, or I get a week paid vacation and a week sick, or whatever, right? So if you'll share like kind of like what you get from your work that shows that they're appreciated. Now, if you are your own boss, then how do you show yourself appreciation? How do you show your employees appreciation? Because I think that is where we start to really fall short as well, like in that realm, because it's like we live in this system where it's like, well, my boss doesn't show me appreciation, so now I'm going to have my own business, right? I'm going to have my own thing. I'm going to do my own thing. Well, then what bonus do I get? What perks do I get for being my own boss? How do I show myself my own appreciation? So if you'll share with me, I think that would be fantastic. I'm curious. And talking about like what we would spend the money on, and Charles is like, because you need a bigger bathtub. Apparently, everybody needs a bigger bathtub so that humans can actually.
Or an extra bathtub.
Or an extra bathtub.
Why not have like 3 or 4 in your house?
That's a lot of bathtubs.
We could do it.
I mean, if you want to add more bathtubs onto the crib set, I totally would accept that.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool though? Think about it.
To have that many bathtubs, would they all be in the same room?
No. Like, what if you had one in different rooms?
Boring.
Like, what if you had one in the TV room? You could like take a bath and watch TV.
I don't watch TV.
It's the point of the example.
No, I think it'd be way
What if you had a
cooler.
bathtub in the backyard? You could take a bathtub while just sitting there and looking up at the trees and talking to the birds.
We could dig a hole for that, and we could.
But we're American. We could just buy another bathtub. We don't have to dig a hole.
I'd rather dig a hole. Well, up to that, like I think it'd be way cooler to have like a room with multiple bathtubs in it, so that like everybody could like chill out and have their own bath together and like hang out and be like, pass me the soap. And catch it. Thank you. Soap. I think that would be cool. They used to call them bath houses, and people would go to them regularly. Mm-hmm. They would be like, in fact, a lot of them would use like mineral springs and stuff. Like they would go to hot springs, mineral springs, sulfur springs, actually random in Indiana. They even had them there. And people would go and sit in these like medicinal, mineral-filled, natural watering holes. Do you need another pillow? You can use them, either of those. Because that's love. He can take all of the pillows.
Oh yeah, so much back support.
Right? I know. This is my back support. Ready?
Here, I'll put mine in there for you.
I'm just kidding. So Charles works for himself. And when I asked, like, Turkish bathhouses, right? That may be a little different. But when I asked, like, how does your boss show appreciation to you, right? Do you get like an award? Do you get a bonus check? Do you get an extra week of vacation? Does your boss say, hey, you know what? You've done such a bang up job, yo. Take a 6-month sabbatical. You do you, boo. Your job will be here, right? So if you work for yourself, it's going to be different, right? So Charles, who also works for himself, says the guy I work for pats me on the back occasionally. Could you imagine if you worked for the boss and they literally just were like, good job? Would that be enough? Like, would you be appreciated? Like, would that feel good? Would that fill you up? Would that fill you up?
More so than nothing.
Definitely more so than nothing. For sure. I mean, I think any verbal accolade is like better than nothing. Totally. And then so the pat on the back, right? So if this is you being your own boss or someone in the work environment, right? Or at school, whatever. Is that pat on the back in private? Hey, let me call you into the office and be like, you know what? You did a really good job. Thanks. Or will they share it with everyone? They put your name in the newsletter, like, oh, you know what? Michael Prokopiak did such a great job this quarter. We want to just high five him. Because I feel like there's something more potent when there are witnesses. I think that there's something a lot more potent with witnesses. What do you think?
The more witnesses, the more potent.
Do you think so? Do you think that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm gonna get you another pillow because now I'm sitting way up and you're sitting way back. Damn it, Michael. Damn it, Michael. I'll sit back. It feels really uncomfortable now, but I can do it. I'll just make a face.
Here, I can move up.
No, it's fine.
No.
It's fine. I'm just kidding. Charles says money was never the motivation for me, so literally the pat on the back or the recognition was always worth more. What are you doing? You're such a goober.
Perfect.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I feel that. I thank you for sharing that, Charles. That money wasn't the motivation. So, like, literally, the pat on the back, the recognition is the thing. I think that is too. It's like words of affirmation given by another. I think in relationships, it starts to strengthen relationships, like fortify relationships. It inspires, I think, the people in the relationship to do better, to grow, to learn more, to be better, and all these other things. And I feel like where's the bridge? I can't make my pinky and can you make them touch? Try this at home. Can you make your pinky and your first finger touch?
How are you so amazed by this?
Because I've never tried so hard in my life to make them touch.
You never did this before with the other hand?
No. I mean, no. I mean, that doesn't count. But like, ooh, that one's so much closer. Anyway.
What does this have to do with appreciation?
I was talking about bridging the gap between like giving money as the appreciation and giving a verbal accolade as the appreciation. But then, you know, giving the person that you are appreciating time and or space to be themselves, right? To let loose, to be free. Like Michael was saying when he went to South America, you know, he took a week off and that was like all he could take. You know, his company wasn't like, you have done such a good job, you know, awesome. That's the pat on the back. And they were like, maybe they were like, here's your bonus, right? That's another pat on the back. But then like, were they willing to say, you know what, take an extra week off, you know, just like whether it's paid or unpaid, take 2 weeks, bro, you know, take that time and space, because when you come back, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel more motivated and inspired. You're going to feel, and you're just going to be healthier. Right. So to me, that's like bridging the gap between the money appreciation and the verbally communicated appreciation. I just never really thought about it like that, because like going into relationships, like I could give you a gift for your birthday, right? Which, I mean, I give you really amazing gifts for all your birthdays.
Yeah, you do. I'll agree with that.
This is my second time that I've been able to give my gift, so it's great. But the first gift was pretty banging. Like, yeah. It was awesome. Like, that was like a really awesome gift. I got him a custom-made mala from Boogaloo. Valkyrie mala! It's gorgeous. Anyway, and we had like a special evening together. There was like dinner and a movie. It was during COVID, so we're like, well, we can't do anything, but it was like special time together, you know? And I feel like that time together kind of validated the gift that I gave. Does that make sense?
No. What do you mean?
Okay, like I could give you a gift, be like, here's your mala, bye, you know, whatever, and like kind of ignore you or like whatever, but like I gave you the gift and shared with you like I wrote a very special card and we had time together to like,
I don't
so it wasn't just like giving the gift and being like, peace out.
Yeah, I don't think validation is the word. I think it's more like the things that we did surrounding you giving me that gift. Like now I have memories of that day. Mm-hmm. And I wear that mala all the time. So every time I wear it, it reminds me of those fond moments, the time that we shared together. Last tax day. So yeah, it makes the gift that much more important. I appreciate the gift more.
More valuable. Not like value money, but like heart value.
Yeah, sentimental value.
Yes. Yes, sentimental.
who was it before? Ariel, I think, said something about work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to say this for like the last 10 minutes, but anyway, I have a coworker who says that the way our company works, he goes, work-life balance is easy. You just make your life work and then you achieve balance. And every time he says it, it cracks me up because it seems to be so true with the corporate system.
Mm.
That
seems
is
to
the
be-
American machine.
Yeah, it seems to be making light of a really sad reality.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
really sad reality. You know? Well, and I want to take all this and kind of start to tie it together in just a moment, like, and how this all how does this all play into relationships? Charles says, I worked somewhere once that never gave more than a week of time off. Boss told me when I asked why, quote, because if I can do without you for more than 6 days, I don't need you at all. And that was feeding the program of fear that is so within almost every friggin' human, right? It's like, if I'm not there for a week, I was just talking about this. I don't know if it was on one of the classes on here, if it was with someone else in like real life, but it's like, if I'm not there, what if people find out that they don't need me, that they can do without me, or they find a replacement, a substitute that they like better, and then all of a sudden I feel unneeded, unworthy, unvalued, invaluable? No, unvaluable. I don't even know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. And nobody wants to feel that. So then oftentimes we have that little bit of fear of being replaced, right? Which feeds the original wounds of fearing abandonment, which is a big human wound. So we have this deep-seated fear of abandonment. And then when a boss or someone at work tells you something like that, it feeds that. So then it's like, I will work then because I don't want to be replaced, and it's like, I think that that's what happens in many relationships. It's like, I don't want to leave their side because what if they'll find a replacement, and it's undervaluing myself. It's me not saying to me like, so if someone does this job better, cool, I will do something else, or I'll do the same thing with a different person or a different company.
Mhm.
Yeah, opportunity, right? But many of us don't think that way. Many of us go straight into the, well, shit, if they don't need me, then I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my second family because we spend so much time at work. It's our second family. It's very interesting. And Ariel shares, we also glorify being overworked and burned out. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Which, you know what? That's a double-edged sword. Because you know what I've realized with that? I will then not ask for help personally because I don't want to feed into the glorification of being overworked. So I just ignore that I'm overworked and overwork myself even more. I'll get burned out. I need time away or whatever, and I don't take it. And then I'm more burned out, but I don't want to speak to it because I don't want to glorify it even more because it is so often glorified in our system. What are you going to say? What do you have to share? I'm so glad we're on vacation.
I think it's funny, the being burned out thing, and then not asking for help and burning yourself out more.
Yeah.
Something I witnessed. And I try to, in the moment, say, hey, through other words, hey, you're burnt out. Why not let me help so you don't burn yourself out more? And then, whatever's going on, you just don't want to ask for the help.
Yeah. Well, and, I find that this happens with me that I don't like to ask for help. I don't. I know why. I know that it's like family, it's epigenetics, it's like old school shit. I don't want to be viewed as weak, needy, old, and then it goes into how people treat the earth. Like people literally, it's like, it needs help. I'm going to turn a blind eye, look at the elders, turn a blind eye. We don't look at the weak. We don't look at the weak. We ignore them. We shoo them aside. Look at anyone who's experiencing homelessness. Like, look how they're treated. So the last thing I want to do is be in a category where people literally are like, she's too needy, and then pushes me aside. Because that is literally in the North American culture. you know? So like, yeah, definitely. I'm aware. What? Working through everything all day, every day. It's great. I see your face on the screen.
I see you looking at me on the screen.
Oh, that's funny. Charles says, of course, I say all this as I'm riding on a tractor and have one more thing to look at before I go home, right? At 5:30, still working. I'm sure you got up really early and have been working all day, doing for others, doing for clients and customers, and you still have more to do. And so then, like, where does the appreciation show up for you? You know, because really, is a pat on the back is nice, and it's really great that you give that to yourself. Like, I wish more people would appreciate themselves more, like a lot. Like, just have that conversation with yourself. It's like, damn, I'm awesome. Damn, I've done such a good job at humaning. I appreciate me so much. Oh my God, I've gotten myself through last week, and I'm in this week now. Yes. I paid my bills this week. What? Appreciation. Like, that'd be so good. And it's a little bit more, I think, serving to give yourself a break to feel what appreciation feels like. That's what I think. I know I'm the pot and I'm calling out the kettle. Like, totally aware. Ariel says, my partner is very similar to Michael. He just stopped asking and starts doing, and it's worked pretty well. Don't tell Jay. You would just, so wait, so that means in this example that you would just start doing things? What?
You know how much I've done that over the course of the relationship? I just stop asking and just start doing certain things in order to like not even have to have the discussion and like help you, whatever.
And let me just say, those do not go unnoticed. They really don't.
And they feel unnoticed.
What?
At times they do feel unnoticed.
Sometimes,
because
I'm sure.
it's like, I could say it from my perspective too. There's a lot of things you do, like setting up this vacation and packing all the things, and like it's all super appreciated. But until we sat down before this, I hadn't verbalized it. And the few things that I have verbalized today or last night were like, oh, did this thing come? Oh, it didn't make it. Oh, did we bring that thing? I didn't pack it with the other 500 things I packed. Oh, okay. But like, I'm just pointing out the things like, hey, where's this? Hey, where's that? Hey, you didn't do this. Not to say that I don't appreciate you, but if you do all this stuff and then you don't hear the appreciation or feel it, and then the other person is reflecting to you like the things you didn't do, it doesn't feel good. That's why I stopped before and said, hey, I want you to know I really appreciate everything you've done to set up this trip, because I haven't really said it yet. And the only things I have said are, hey, where's this? Hey, where's that? Hey, what are we doing for lunch? What are we doing for dinner? Because I'm so caught up with the, what I'm doing at work. And I feel like,
so that you can take the 3 days off out of the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in my experience in partnership, from me to the other person or the other person to me, it's like if things are going well, generally nothing's said because things are going well. And then when something's noticed that, isn't well, it's brought right up. It's brought right up. And when that's all you hear, one might start to feel that the other one doesn't appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I know in our case, I don't constantly verbalize appreciation. I do. I think I verbalize it a decent amount. And so do you to me. And when there's a lot of things done and then like nothing said to like acknowledge or appreciate any of those things, and then something said like, hey, why didn't you do this?
Yeah.
It feels crappy.
You said something.
Go ahead.
You said something that I found really interesting, how oftentimes like we don't express appreciation. What we do express is if it's like, did you pack beans? You didn't pack beans? Why didn't you pack beans, woman? That's not really how the conversation went, but that was an example. That was just the last thing that he asked if I packed. Anyway.
All I asked was if we had beans. That's it.
Yeah, I know. And what I'm saying, and so it reminds me of going back to like the office, experience. So many times I think when we're in like the corporate space, we just want to keep our head down, and it's like, I don't want to be acknowledged. Just let me do my job. Let me get in, let me get out. And so we take that same mindset into our relationships, like I'm just going to do what I need to do, not really deal with it. But then that means that there's there's only then space for like, hey, where is this? Why didn't you pay the bill? Right? Did you turn in your timesheet on time, or like those types of things? But there isn't the space to then like have the good stuff acknowledged, because we're like ducking from communication. We're not speaking from the heart, and no one seems to speak from the heart at work, no matter what kind of work you do. You know what I mean? Traditionally, or like in the program kind of stuff, in the system. Like, so interesting. I want to read what y'all are saying. Ariel says, similar energies here. I do have to consciously stop and be like, OMG, I haven't even thanked him at all today, right? And then says, going both ways. Gratitude is just something we make a daily habit, or compliments, because they feel nice, right? Yeah, they really do. I tell Michael all the time that he's cute.
She does. I tell Jane all the time that she's beautiful. You really have to think about that. Or gorgeous. Or a version of those.
Are you blushing?
Multiple times a day. Maybe a little bit, yeah.
I can tell. I can't really see it as much on the screen, but in real life, toes. Oh, I would boop you on your nose, but you told me you don't like that.
You could boop me on my nose if you use one of your toes. How about that?
You don't want me to boop you on your nose with my toes.
Because you can't do it.
I can.
No.
One, I can. Two, my feet, I've been walking barefoot all day, and I've been outside, so you probably don't want that.
You just can't.
And three, I can. And I would even do it, even though it may even be uncomfortable. Because I physically can. I physically may also hurt. Don't test me. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do it. Hey Tanisha, how are you? She shares, when appreciation is not verbalized, when feedback is shared, it feels negative. Ooh, yes. Hey Catherine, how are you? She says, like, when you didn't acknowledge my good before you evaluated me. Yeah, it's also not nice to give false compliments to pacify and then say a rude demeaning comment, which I think happens definitely. For example, hey, go over here and do everything I don't want to do. Thanks. That is rude. Work example. Oi. I'm like, oi. Yeah, like, that's the thing about appreciation. Like, it's kind of like, when you get the pacifying accolade, it's like, if I tell Michael that I appreciate him, but I'm like, gee, Michael, I sure appreciated when you took out the garbage. I love this example because he always takes it out. It's all good. But like, if I said it like that, even in that like snarky way, he's not going to feel appreciated like at all. What? What is
Continue.
true?
Go ahead.
Or if it's like, if I'm only saying like, you said you take out the garbage, you didn't take out the garbage. When are you going to take out the garbage? Why aren't you taking it out? Then he doesn't have the space to do it, and he's not going to feel appreciated after he takes it out. He's going to feel like, and even if I were to be like, oh my God, thank you for taking the garbage out, he's going to be like, whatever. I was just tired of hearing you ask me to take out the garbage. Woman. That's what I think. So putting this into relationships, right? So do you want to share what? I'll start sharing and then I'll let you share.
Do you want to read some comments before this?
Because
they're starting to stack up.
Yes, they're sharing with each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Um,
Continue.
I think yeah. So before Michael and I left town, we had some people over at the Cribstead, and it was for Easter, for community hangout, get together, just with some close friends. And unbeknownst to the Michael, I sent messages to everybody that said, like, hey, and this is also to celebrate Michael for his birthday because we'll be out of town for that. So it was really fun because there we had a bunch of people over, and which he knew was going to happen. And then we all got in a circle, and I encouraged everyone to go around the circle and share love to Michael in whatever way they were called to share. And we speak to that.
First of all, that was incredible. That feeling. Never had a group of people reflect on me.
Aries loves that.
And most of the time, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I'm just living my life. I don't really care if other people, how they view me or if they reflect about me. Like, whatever. I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the people I'm with. I spend time with people that I want to spend time with. So I don't I just never understood how powerful it was just to receive reflections and love from others, and to have a large group do that for me. Like, that was mind blowing to me. So if anybody on here ever wants to make somebody else feel like super good about life and themselves, organize some of their friends and just ask them to reflect how they feel about this person. Because it was like a reminder to me that, like, oh wait, I am doing everything. I am doing pretty well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's fine. People do actually appreciate me, appreciate my personality, appreciate the things I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know that, a lot of what people reflected were that they appreciated my personality. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't know people appreciated that about me.
Mm. Yeah.
And, until you took the time out to ask these people to come, and then you asked them to reflect something to me in love. There wasn't a window for somebody to show that appreciation. Like, there's always a window, and I feel like unless the opportunity is like presented, like blatantly encouraged, people tend to not show appreciation, even though they might think it or feel it.
Why do you all think that is? Why do you all think that is? Why do you think it is that we as human beings don't speak words of appreciation to others? Like, freely, like bigly, openly, like, I want to know, like, why we don't do that. I mean, I have, like, I think we all have reasons, but, like, I would like to know your take on that. Like, why not? Why not? I want to read what y'all are saying. Let's see. Tanisha says, I try my best to show appreciation with action and words and reduce my complaining. If I don't have anything nice to say, I don't say it. Yes. Thank you for that reminder for me. For real. That's why I left my last job. Catherine says, I do openly share appreciation and then expect it from others, and it doesn't happen. Oh, yeah. That's a thing. I'm so glad you said that, Catherine. Totally. Yeah. Laws of nature. If we have any expectations about anything ever, we set ourselves up to fail. Like, if I expect Michael to take out the garbage, like, it's like one of the 4 agreements, right? Don't make assumptions. To me, that's almost the same thing as having expectations. So it's like, if I tell Michael that I appreciate him, and then because I said that, I expect him to take out the garbage, and he doesn't because he's just floating in this, like, oh, I feel so good. I'm in this appreciation love bubble that Jane just gave me. Oh yeah, I feel so good. He maybe doesn't take out the garbage, and then I get butthurt, and then I'm going to hold it against him and not show him any more appreciation. And now he's left in this feeling like, of like, what just happened? She was happy with me, and now she's ignoring me. Oh, okay. What? So I'm glad you called out the expectations.
Before we read any more comments, refresh my memory. What are the 4 agreements? Don't take anything personally.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Be impeccable with your word. Always do your best.
It seems like having expectations violates all 4 of those agreements.
Yes.
Because when somebody doesn't meet your expectation, you get upset because you're taking it personally that they didn't meet your expectation, which you probably didn't communicate very well. That this is exactly what I want, which is not being impeccable with your word. You're making an assumption that they're going to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
What was the 4th one?
Do your best.
Well, to me, that's not the.
Well, I'm not going to do my best if I have an expectation that you should do this and that, because to me, then I'll be thinking that you didn't do your best. So why should I give mine?
There you go.
I'm glad you asked that. Reading what y'all are saying. Tanisha says, I think it's self-defense and lack of self-love. I have a hard time accepting compliments. So I'm always overthinking what will the person think if I have a motive, and then saying, thank you, I appreciate you. Yeah, it will get in a loop, right? It's like, oh, if I have a hard time accepting compliments, then I'm not showing myself enough love, right? I'm not showing myself appreciation. But lack of self-love is such a beautiful awareness. I love that you are so open and sharing that. Self-love, I think, is something that is this ever expandable thing for us humans, like to keep loving ourselves more and more, because we mess up, we make mistakes, we say stupid things, whatever. And it's like, if I can love myself through all of that, then I will give more of that out. Catherine says, lesson learned. Oh yeah, I listened to that on tape. I loved it. Oh, the 4 agreements. Isn't it great? Tanisha says, now that I appreciate myself more, I can freely give appreciation. Oh, there you go. See? Yay. Yes. Let's see. Catherine says, right. So it says torn. Is it torn? So I'm torn. It's my fault. In turn. Ah, okay. What is your fault? Because I don't think
having expectations. I think we're still talking about
feeling. I don't think it's like your fault that you feel let down. I think feeling let down is a byproduct of having expectations. It's like, if I want to lose weight and I go on a diet, is it my fault that I don't lose weight, or is it my fault that I did lose weight? No, it just is. It's just a byproduct. It's either I followed the diet and I lost weight, or I didn't. Neither direction is a fault. We just put the word fault with if we don't like it. So just see it as just a byproduct of like, oh, well, when I have expectations, I tend to feel let down. Okay, that's the awareness. Well, what can I change in all of that? The first step. I don't want to have expectations. Then I'm just going to hold everyone on the high and, trust that they're going to do what they're going to do. And it just is. And I will express my needs maybe differently moving forward. Charles says, I know I'm a superhero. It's convincing the rest of y'all that's the issue.
Do you know he's a superhero?
Charles?
I know he's a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 3 of us.
Yeah. Let's see. We're going back to the same situation 7 different times. We can always break a cycle. How many times I fell off a wagon. How many times I turned to something that was a drug or a distraction. How many times, So I could say that all those times it was my fault. No, those were my choices. That's where I was at the time. And I'll have a new opportunity to make a new choice. Always do. It's this now moment. It's this now moment. It's this now moment. And show appreciation to where you are now. I may have fallen off the wagon. I may have gone back to the same old unhealthy relationship. I may have gone back to the same old employer or the same type of employment situation. I may have keep moving all around the world all these different times. But the one thing that didn't change was why I was doing it, right? This me in the middle. So maybe pausing and show reflection of appreciation to ourselves for where we've gotten ourselves now, what we've gotten through, and then acknowledging that in our partners and like give them space to feel it, right? More than like, hey, thanks, good job, bye. Right? That quick pat on the back. Yeah, it feels good. It's nice to have that acknowledgement. And it's kind of like if you are in a relationship, right? And it's like it's your partner's birthday, and you're like, happy birthday, bye. That feels really nice, like it feels good to have that acknowledgement. It's a whole other ball game if you like pick a couple flowers for them. It's a whole other ball game if you're like, I know that you've been really wanting a puppy or an extra room of bathtubs or a back rub or, time alone together or time alone with yourself. Like give them, like you've been present enough with them to know what they need and or want and can give that to them as an act of devotion, as an act of appreciation and gratitude. I say let's do that. I feel like you were going to share something.
I was.
Do you remember what it was?
Kind of. You asked a question earlier about why we don't show appreciation. Like, why do we do that as a culture? I know for me, I feel like I say thank you and tell people how much I appreciate them more often than most people do, from what I've noticed. And I know that, like, for example, here today, while I was working, their interactions between us were like, where are the beans? Or did this thing come with us? Or it was very like matter of fact. Like
they were like they were like need to conversations.
Yeah, and I feel like at work and then outside of work, that's how I am until the need to things are done, and then I can relax and then like be present with you and show appreciation and connect with you. But until the other things are done, it's like I could be like throughout the day, thanks, okay, gotta go by because I have other stuff to do. And like you said, while that feels nice, it doesn't feel because it's like so quick.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like it was legitimate. You know what I mean? So I think I have a fear of that quick shot of appreciation because I'd rather show it when I have the time to sit and be present with you. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And then during the day, no matter what's going on, it's just like I just want to get the things done. And I don't want to spend any more time not doing the things so that I can get to the span of time where I can do the things and show appreciation and connect. And I think in that space of the first half of the day or 2/3 of the day, whatever it takes for me to do my things, it could leave you feeling in a space where you don't feel appreciated or you don't feel like I care about you or, because I'm not texting you or I'm not talking to you. Or it has nothing to do with you or my feelings about you. It has to do with me being focused on what I'm doing. And usually I'm focused on what I'm doing so I can get through it as quick as possible to get to the point where I'm free to do what I want to do, or I'm free to hang out with you. We can do our thing. It has nothing to do with my feelings about you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I'm glad you said that because it just reminded me about the expectations. So it's kind of like, so what if like in the middle of the day, right? And you text me or I text you that just says, hey, I'm thinking about you. I really appreciate you. You're swell. All the thumbs are up. Thanks for taking out the garbage, right? And maybe I send this text and then I'm like busy again, right? Like I had this moment in time to just focus appreciative love to my partner. Just plunk, texted. So now what if Michael responds? It's like, oh yeah, that's me. And then like starts a conversation, but I don't have time for that. Like I literally just took that time, plunked down the focus of love. Like, here it is. I love you. Thank you. And now I'm back to like computer land or work mode or whatever. Right. So then Michael could get upset because he had an expectation that I was going to respond. Right. Well, you texted me and I said something back and you never responded. This is an example, right? And then so he gets butthurt in this example. And then next thing you know, next time I have this moment in time to just give this love and appreciation. I don't because because I didn't get to give it to him the way he wanted after he started opening that box. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So I think, it's like having expectations can literally stop the flow of love and gratitude and appreciation so much. Like, well, what if I tell him that I love him and then he wants to like hang out? I don't want to hang out tonight. I just want to tell him that I appreciate him. I think that that's really common. It's also kind of like, back to the work thing, right? So say the boss tells you, man, you know what? I really appreciate you. Like I really do. And then now you have the upper hand and you say, cool, so I'm valuable, I'm worthy, and you appreciate me, cool, give me the raise. And then the boss is like, I don't want to have this conversation. Like it can lead to uncomfortable situations, especially if we have expectations around it. To give it without any expectations, and to receive it without expectations. I think that's where we start to shift the way communication works. It's not, I'm going to tell you I appreciate you because I have an ulterior motive. If you tell me you appreciate me, it's not because you need something. It's just because you appreciate me. And I may not even agree with you. Michael could say, oh my God, I really appreciate you cooking dinner. And I may not have liked it. And then like, it tasted bad. But so I can negate his appreciation, but why do that? Why have him second guess his appreciation and love and joy over a thing? But we do that. We'll be like, oh, whatever. Anybody would have done it. We'll downplay it. What?
It's interesting. It's like receiving a compliment. Because like in that scenario, like if I compliment the dinner, oh my God, that was so great. I really enjoyed that. And you're like, but the broccoli was burnt, or it could have used more salt, or number one, you don't receive the compliment, which doesn't feel good to you or me. Number two, you reinforce the negative thoughts about whatever you have going on in your head. I'm not good enough. I don't know how to cook. He doesn't, he's not satisfied, even though I'm literally saying I'm satisfied. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, it opens up a space where I don't feel like sharing something like that again. I don't feel like showing that appreciation because it's met with so much negativity.
Yeah.
In this
resistance.
case, when it comes to something like that, like, oh, dinner was so great. And if you do have like you don't receive it and there's like a negative comment in return, I do have that hit of, oh, wow, I don't want to share this again the next time dinner's great. I do it every time because you're a great cook. And every time we sit down to eat, I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. I have the thought and then I share it. And I know that in this, in other areas that aren't around dinner, there's been times where I show appreciation or love, and multiple times it's been rejected or sent back. Resisted. Okay, that's a better word. And then there's certain things that I've stopped doing over the course of this relationship because resistance has been shown so many times, even though I know deep down you probably do like it and you do want to receive it, but you're resistant. Eventually, if you keep resisting something, I'm going to give up.
Well, yeah.
I want to take another path.
Well, and it's kind of like I think Tanisha had mentioned, it's sometimes hard to take a compliment because like if I don't believe it, right? It's kind of like if someone said, wow, Jane, I really love your straight, smooth hair. I'm going to be like, you're lying, right? Because I know different. Like that's a different truth for me. My hair is not smooth and it is not straight. Right? So if the compliment is, that dinner was great and I didn't like it, or those pants look great on you and every time I wear them, I'm really uncomfortable, then I don't believe it. So then I resist his expressing joy, love, appreciation from his perspective. So then he's not going to want to share that perspective anymore. Could you imagine if your boss was like, man, you know what? You've done such a great job. If you're like, nah, I really haven't. I've really slacked off. Eventually the boss is either going to get rid of your ass or be like, or question, why are you even there? Or just be like, well, I'm not going to tell them they're doing a good job anymore. And even start to second guess their own way that they perceive you. It's kind of like, have you ever had that happen where you're like, oh yeah, it's vibes. Like, oh, that was such a great movie. Oh, that was such a great movie that we watched. And like you tell 10 people, and 10 people say, oh, it sucked. That was such a crappy movie. And now you start to second guess your own belief system. Welcome to the land of why we're talking about getting passports and vaccines. It's funny how all this shit ties together. Isn't that interesting? We will take our belief and supplement it with someone else's if enough people tell us that they are in a different belief system. God, great. Sarcasm. Charles, oh good. I'm excited for you, Catherine. Starting a new job on Friday. May it be easy and abundant and joyful and so fantastic. Charles says, I have had friends where no matter what, I was only going to get their attention with 3 texts max. Oh, so I learned to say all of it within those 3 texts. Wow. That's, I've had some people do that. Like they'll text me and they'll text like by that 3rd time, because by the 3rd time I'm like, what? But then I look back and like the first text is like, hey, 2nd text is like, how's it going? And then the 3rd text is like, this is what I need to tell you. You're not one of them. I wonder if the people that do that with me or do the same thing.
I thought the same thing when you read it. I think Charles is saying no 3 texts back and forth.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a little different situation.
It is a different situation. It's interesting. Like, so all this to say, right? Like, bringing this all together. Like, can we find new ways to appreciate the people in our life? Can we find new ways to receive appreciation in our life? Can we hold space so that the appreciation that we give has time to actually land and like get into the person that we just shared this love and gratitude with? It's kind of like if I'm like, oh wow, you look so beautiful today. And if Michael says, yeah, whatever, and starts to walk off, maybe if I actually take him by the hands and look at him in the eyes and say, no, like, I love the way you look today. Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you choosing this body. Yum, or whatever. And actually pausing to where it lands, give that space and the time for it to land in appreciation. I think that we can then build stronger relationships because we feel safer. We feel even if I do mess up, I know that I am still loved. I know that I'm still appreciated for who I am, with the goods and the bads and the uglies and all the middle bits, and to allow words of appreciation to actually land for you. If someone pays you a compliment or says, hey, I really love your friendship, or I think you're super swell, whatever, to like be with those words and trust that another spirit being in a human body just gave you love, whether they have an expectation or not, whether they have an ulterior motive or not. Who cares? Just let the words of appreciation and love go to your heart and just let it feel just for a moment, and then move about your day. So take time to appreciate, to share appreciation, and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, OMG, I appreciate you, self. For real, because you get to do that for you too. All the relationships start with the I. Third eye. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you for being here with me. I mean, I know I drove you and you didn't know where we were going. So thanks for trusting me to circle a bunch of people around you and share love with you. And thank you for letting me, for receiving and appreciating the gift of this experience that we're having for the next week and a half. And thanks for doing this with me. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Bye. Thank you all so much for tuning in. For real, I love you all so much. I can't wait to see you later. Monday, Body, Mind, Spirit. I'll be here. So anyway, take care of yourselves and each other.
Here's a question.
What?
When's the next Ladies' Hangs?
Oh yeah, ladies hangs. Hey ladies, all the ladies. Louder now. Okay, I'll go down that rabbit hole. Hey ladies, this Friday, 2:30. If you want to hang, send me a message. We're zooming in and we're going to talk about some stuff that I want to talk about. And if there's anything you want to talk about, send me a message and maybe we can make that a topic as well. So I love you all. Tune in, zoom in, and I will see you all later.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.